Hi, this is Jonathan Rosenhead, Jerusalem psychotherapist. This week's Torah and Psychology post for Parshas Vayikra is titled Creating a Loving Marriage. In this week's Parsha, we read about different Carbonus that were brought in the Mishkan. And if we take the word Carbonus, at its root, it has the word karov, which means close. And therefore, when a person brings a carbon, they are involved in the process of lekarev, to draw close. That by bringing this carbon, they are trying to draw close to Hashem, to strengthen the relationship that they have with Hashem. And one carbon in particular that we read about in this week's Parsha is the carbon mincha, which was different to other carbonos, because it didn't involve bringing an animal, but rather the person brought very basic ingredients, flour, oil, frankincense, and these were burnt up and offered to Hashem. And when the Kohanim took the carbon mincha, they didn't offer everything. They didn't offer all the ingredients, but rather they took just a fistful, a kamitza. A further thing that was different about the carbon mincha is that when the Torah says when a person brings a carbon mincha, it uses the word nefesh. When a nefesh brings the carbon mincha. And nefesh has the connotations of the person's whole entity, their entire being. They're bringing whatever they can, and therefore that's why we learned that the carbon mincha was often brought by a poorer person, someone that couldn't afford anything but cheap ingredients. But what's important is that the Torah is saying that they are bringing everything that they've got. The intention of the person is to offer everything that they can. Their entire being, that's what they're putting into this carbon, because their entire desire is to draw close to Hashem. And that's why the Torah says that the carbon mincha was a pleasing fragrance to Hashem. Hashem liked this carbon, because what we're learning is that what's important to Hashem is the desire of a person, the person's intention to draw close. So it doesn't matter whether it was a expensive or cheap carbon. The person is giving their nefesh. They're giving everything they can in order to draw closer, to create a better relationship with Hashem. So if we look at marriage, when a person wants to express their love or improve their relationship with their husband or their wife, often what they'll do is they'll try to express this through giving presents. But what's important and what we can learn from the carbon mincha is that it doesn't necessarily mean that the person has to bring large, expensive, extravagant presents, but rather, even just bringing something simple or basic, a token gesture, as a way of expressing their love, as expressing their desire to draw close, can have the same effect. But if we take this message that we learn from the word nefesh, is that what's important is the person's intention. That through giving this gift, even if it's a simple gift, but what they're doing is they're giving their entire being, they're putting their entire self into this present. Their whole love and affection and commitment to the relationship they are expressing through this present, even a simple present. And that's why, through this basic present, they can draw closer and they can improve and strengthen their relationship with their husband and wife. And if we take this idea, this message of drawing close and strengthening the relationship, it relates to the idea of attachment theory, which says that a person from a young age creates or has a basic need for attachment. And this should be provided by the child's mother, father, and through these interactions in early life, it gives a child the ability to develop a healthy sense of attachment, a healthy attachment style. And this hopefully will give them a sense of a secure attachment, that they can trust themselves, they can trust other people, they can trust the world around them, they can learn, develop, grow. But unfortunately, if a person has an unhealthy attachment style, then they might have a low sense of self-value, self-esteem. They don't trust other people. They can't rely on other people. They might not be able to have it. They might not have an ability to self-regulate, and therefore they can perhaps explode in expressions of anger, or they might have extreme anxiety. And what can often happen is when a person gets married, they use the relationship in marriage as a way of healing this wound, healing this basic attachment need. But often if each person has an unhealthy attachment style, if one person has an unhealthy attachment style, this can create problems in the marital relationship. And therefore therapy tries to help the couple to understand each other, how to help a couple to understand each other's needs, this basic attachment need. And through therapy and through the marital relationship, it can be a reparative process. It can repair this wound and they can draw closer to one another, creating a healthy marriage, a loving and healthy marriage. Have a great Shabbos and keep well.